All right, we on air, baby.
We on air.
What's up, everybody?
So you know how we always do this.
Alrighty.
Welcome back to another episode of the Lyrically Acclaimed Podcast. I'm your host, Ill-minded Tazz. And you know I got the one and only Archie man in the building.
See, look, I was anticipating some type of weird mistake to come out on my name this time.
Nah. We know we always get one little fuck up, and that's how it goes.
Hell yeah, man.
That's how it been.
Bro, there's just a lot going on in the world today. Definitely on my end. But you know, it ain't much. Ain't nothing a man can't handle. You know what I'm saying?
Fact. You know what I mean? We gotta do what we gotta do out here.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Gotta get comfortable in this new seat. I think we good.
Yeah, bro. It's been a hell of a days. It's been a hell of a days.
Mm-hmm. A lot of new stuff. A lot of stuff been going on. I mean, as you know, babies is being brought into the world, and houses are being moved into, and
everybody making drastic decisions. You know what I mean?
Yeah, big changes.
Well, sometimes you got to. You feel me? Change is good. They always say change is good. You feel me? So sometimes you got to in these times, especially when you grow in families. You can't stay in the same size house. Sometimes you gotta upgrade a little bit and get something a little bit bigger. You know what I mean?
Good Lord.
That looked like that shot got you.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. That damn monkey.
Hey, you gotta get that itch off your back. You feel me? Monkey shoulder on that one.
But yeah, you're right. Change is always good. You gotta have change. It's just growing through it is the part, because man, I think right now with us being in the new place, it's a bigger place than we've ever had. So it's kind of like we're trying to figure out, what do we really want to do? How do we want to decorate? Like, man, what's the game plan on how long we're going to be here? Which we know we're going to be there until we get a new place. But it's really just like, it's just a different experience, because when I walk through the front door and I'm like, this is where I stay now. I still feel kind of like, I don't know the best way to put it. I feel like I'm almost in a stranger's home still. You know what I mean?
Because it's new to you. It's something that's very new. So it's like, it's just that first 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. So you're like trying to get, what's the word? Nah, that's not the word. You're trying to get accustomed to the area that you in now, the house that you in now, because now you got so used to going one place, and now you're looking at it, it's like, damn, this is where I'm at.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
like, okay, this is where I'm coming home to every day.
I'm trying to figure out that backyard too, boy.
Yeah, you got a huge one.
Lord, it's a lot of yard, period, front and back. I don't know what I'm gonna do with all that, but I kind of had this vision where I want to make it a nice lounge place for in the summer and, like, you know, spring times and stuff, like even fall. I know I'm gonna give me a pit so we can just put fire out there and just stay warm, you know.
Yeah. Well, you always get used to that backyard. And I ain't gonna lie, it's a very huge backyard you got, bro. Like, golly, when you think about it, this is very huge.
I'll be thinking, like, whenever they first built that house, they were like, and they were zoning it out or whatever, they were like, yeah, we ain't gonna leave no space for any other house to be built. You notice there's only 3 houses on that block that I live on?
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, so in between, I ain't gonna say the streets I live in between, because I don't want nobody weird just to be rolling up. But that one street
behind you,
yeah, well, the 2 that are on the side that run parallel to the big street, if you notice, once you pull up to the stop sign, it's a blue house, a gray house, and then my house, and then it's the other street.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is also the most unique little area I've ever lived in, because a 3-house block is insane.
It's crazy. Yeah. That's the first time. That's really one of the first times. Mm-hmm. But then again, like you said, the zoning areas of it was, well, depending on what they did with that area, because at the end of the day, they cut the streets. Did they cut it too short? Like, did they, like what? Like at that time, like what was they thinking? Like, we're the only 3 on this block? Or is it just a small little hub? Like,
hey, bro, I've always thought as a kid, because I used to run around over on that part of the west side when I was young, and I always thought it is built weird. Everything's built in like a semicircle. The streets are paved. I mean, like, just the way they mapped it all out.
Yeah, because that's what it looked like. It's supposed to be like one big ass cul-de-sac.
Yeah, the you look on the map, west side. Yeah, you're like, what the fuck are they thinking? I honestly, to be honest, I don't think Midland was supposed to ever get as big as it was supposed to be, and I think, you know, generations after generations are just kind of just like going with the flow.
And well, it's like that's like everything, bro. They got oil here, so with oil comes more people, because now with more people figuring out, hey man, we can make money off this shit. There's more rigs, there's more people from different states. Now they're like, yo, we don't got nowhere to live, so of course it grows, and there's a lot of new builds, a lot of old builds that's getting renovated to make me look like new builds. So it's just growing, and like you said, you never know. Like when it first began, nobody would have thought like, hey, this is gonna be West Texas known for oil. We're gonna break ground over here, and then next thing they broke ground. Like, oh shit, we could continue. Oh shit, we're going with this. So now, you know what I mean. Now when you look at it from when you growing up, you already seen Midland look 10 times different from young Archie to now big Archie's like, god damn, like I really seen this shit grow.
You know what, that made me, I don't know why, but it made me think of this conversation I had with Joe the other night, and he was talking about like how people from like Houston and like Dallas and stuff, they don't take Midland serious, definitely when it comes to like this music stuff. But I remember hearing stories when I was younger, like dudes from Dallas and like stuff would come down here and they be trying to like clown on, but it's because we were a small town back then. We were very country, you know. And you just think about the south side of town.
Like,
this was where everything was going on, definitely if you were black. So you got Lee Street, and back then it used to be nothing but bars and clubs. So, you know, you come from out of town to big city, like even in the 90s, Midland was, you go from big city to 90s Midland, you're like, these little podunk ass motherfuckers. I would have probably thought the same too, but anyway, we were talking about it because there's so much potential down here. It's just insane, but nobody wants to take us serious. He was telling me his story about like this rapper who was signed to some, I think Swisher House or something like that, and he was saying how he pretty much he came down here handpicked who he wanted to put on, and then turned around, didn't promote none of them, and then turned around and called everybody that here was rapping trash.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but he came down here to get clout. And that's what Joe was saying, was like, Buddy out here just clout chasing, really. Like, he came down here, try to get his name big down here, and get with some local artists, and just try to get his buzz up, and then burn off. Like, you know what I mean?
That's crazy. Now that's wild work to come down there and do. But then you see, it's crazy now when you look at it now. The amount of people, when you hear, like music wise, how much people is doing it down here. Like, especially here lately, the amount of people that's been coming back here to do music. Like, we've seen Rick Ross, that was down here. Who else? God rest his soul. Rich Homie Quan was down here. And
Waka just was here.
See, Waka, Snoop was down here. So it's like, it's crazy when you look back at it. They were clout chasing, but then again, you're getting big names coming back, performing here. Hell, the Baby was down here too. That's all I was trying to think of. The Baby was down here performing. There's like, you have all these names coming down here. Yeah,
Nelly was here. I want to say he was over at the what's that place off of Big Spring?
Tailgates.
Yeah,
and
oh, you know what I just thought about? It'd be, you know, we got the tailgate session stuff. It'd be dope.
Tailgate.
It'd be dope.
That'd be dope.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Hey, hold on. I kind of feel like I'm cutting out. You wanna check me out real quick? Sorry, we have give us a second here.
Technical difficulties.
Yeah. All right, better. Yeah.
Yes, sir. Did I just knock something? Okay.
Nah, we good. We good. See, that's what I love about having the video, though, is because they can actually see the realness of it. Because the thing is, as we do this podcast and it grows and it changes and we get bigger and better guests and stuff like that, you're gonna see everything from a background change. You're gonna see us change. You're gonna see the concepts and the topics change. It's gonna be a growth process. So, I mean, one thing I'm for sure is, man, when we do this podcast, man, I honestly feel like, man, we don't have to be perfect, you know. Not right now, at least.
No, this is the growing stages. Growing stages of this is the growing stages is the best stages of all, because now we all learning. You feel me? As individuals and as hosts, we are learning to get our footing in the door. You know what I mean? Not everything gonna be perfect, not every angle, but also, like you said, it shows from everything from the steps of where we came from in one studio to, well, they elevated from this studio to the next studio. And you know what I mean? And that's just with everything. Like, it's just progression. And I feel our audience would appreciate to see the progression going forward, like what we doing. It's more like a podcast / vlog type shit.
Yeah.
Like, you actually see what's happening in real time. Like, shit, and every week they get to see, like, damn, I see them, they doing different things. I see they got different guests and everything like that. So, you know, for them it'll be nice.
I know for sure that I don't think we've even got to talk about this stuff yet. And maybe we have, but you know what? We're gonna talk about it again. I'm still just surprised we've come this far. You know what I mean?
Yeah, we haven't talked about it. We really haven't.
We've came a long way, bro. Just think about it. Like, from where all this started, you know, I think we may have talked about that, like how it started. Yeah, I think that was like last podcast. We were talking about our situation and getting to where we are now. But like,
we really haven't went in depth. Like, for a lot of people don't know, this whole thing really started off at the back of you.
It started off of us.
It was
honestly,
us.
We were sitting there at the shop just yapping.
But really and truly, it started off the back of you, because if you had to go back, we had to go back from before me and you was working together. It's back in the school, when I was working at the school, and you was taking your music seriously. You was like, you got back into it. You showed me Emotionless. And you was taking it seriously, because he was going like, yo, I really want to do this. And that's where I involved Dylan, because Dylan was coming down and stuff like that. So once me and you started chopping it up about the music and this is what you're doing, you show me different verses on different tracks. That's what escalated us to go to West Texas Reloaded. And that's where it was. A lot of people don't know West Texas Reloaded really was a label that was based around Archie.
Yeah.
And it grew from there, because we was really focusing on you at the beginning of this whole thing. And then, you know, of course, my position at that time was being a manager, and Dylan's position was being more like road manager, assistant, like more of the editor style, which he's doing now. Just now he has a different title more, because he is manager. But that's really what it was. And then after that, like, it grew to the point that you convinced me to get into the booth. And then I had to relinquish that title and come from, well, I ain't manager no more, I'm artist. So Uncle D had pretty much had to step up from being just road manager and editor to turn into, well, you're the manager now, and you have two artists to manage, which he's doing a good job at. So a lot of people don't know that. Like, it started off really off of you, off the back. It's really started off the back of you.
Well, you know, if I have anything, my ass just be following my nose, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you.
Wow.
I ain't gonna lie. I just be doing the shit that feels right. I think sometimes in my life, that's kind of what gets me in a lot of trouble, is because, like, I just follow my heart with a lot of things, and like, honestly, it just feels right to do things definitely like this. And I kind of look at it like this, man. We live in this world that nobody, you know, the world don't care about us.
Yeah.
The world don't care if you succeed or fail.
Mm-hmm.
The only people that care about you is the people in your circle. And then sometimes even them people, they be like, man, all you do is talk. You ain't did nothing.
Don't you find that crazy though? Like, it ain't no shot, but it's like, it's always crazy that, literally speaking, you find more support out of your circle.
Yeah.
A lot of the times. Which I always find crazy throughout the years, that is, and I don't understand, I've never understood why, especially if they know who you are. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I get it when it comes to the point of, if you know somebody always talk that talk but couldn't walk it, mm-hmm. then I could see why the disbelief of it is like, he's always saying this or she's always saying this, but it never pans out. Mm-hmm. But then when you realize that people are doing the work and you can see it, like you've seen them, not, it don't even have to be in current situations, but in past situations, you could see like they've done the work, they've done this, and you could see why they've achieved. So now that they stepped into a new lane, you still don't show that.
I want to say, man, because I'm gonna put it from my perspective, and because part of me always tries to understand people where they're at. So even my haters, I try to, or the people who don't believe in me, that they love me, but they don't believe in me, I try to understand that. And I want to say, for a good percentage of all that is just like, if you seen me at my lowest and shit like that, you probably wouldn't believe in me either, right? If I was me and if I was them, I'd probably be looking at me like, oh, here go Archie again, like, you know. But at the same time, the part that I don't understand is like, you see how far I've come from my lowest. I hit rock bottom and I'm still climbing. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. That hole ain't so far hard to get out of, you know. You done seen how far I done come from my lowest to where I'm at now, and then you're like, you still doubt me? That's where it gets crazy.
That's what I'm saying. That's what the crazy thing about it is, because it's like, everything is about, like we said, everything's about progression.
Yeah.
And then you see, like, for instance, with us, you see we came from one artist to two artists. Then it's not just we are artists and we just claiming this, we're putting out music. Then you see us put out music, now we're on stage. Mm-hmm. Now we're on stage, now we're doing the podcast to add to that. Plus, now you're seeing that we introduced the tailgate sessions. Mm-hmm. And then when you look at that, that's progression there from the time we started, and it was like, what, we've been doing this for the past 2-3 years now, and it's like, from once you see everything is going forward, you would expect to see, you know what I mean, that circle be the first circle to
rally
around you when it comes down to like videos posted. And then it's like, I guess, like I always used to say, you know what I mean, expectations lead to disappointment, because then you expect people to do certain things. Like, you see your homeboy doing this and you're like, yo, my homie doing this shit, that shit nice, let me push it out. And I mean, this in today's age of social media, you would think that you would see more reposts, you would see more this. And then where the disappointment comes in is like, if you have 20 guys and only one guy keep doing the same thing, it's like, damn, bro, like, so the 19 of y'all don't fuck with me, like, so that's where that shit always gets me, because it's like, damn, bro, like, you could show the progression of it, but then it still is like, your guys could watch it, but don't do the, yo, that's my homie, I see what he's doing. And especially it's like, yo, I'd never expect him to do this, but shit, he's doing his thing. Let me go ahead and let my circle see the shit, so that they can understand and do that from there. And I don't know, it's always been weird, but then when you see it like you did with the last tailgate sessions, you put it on TikTok and you did your little thing, and boom, you got strangers, strangers, 200 at that time, 214 plus strangers, just like, oh shit, fire, yo, I like this, dick, and it's like, who's the familiar face? And you scroll and it's like, not one of y'all I know. Like, you know what I mean? Which is crazy. And that's I always wondered that mindset, like, how come that's always been a thing? Like, why can't you rally around your peers when they're doing good?
Yeah.
From the get go, like not wait till the success hit.
Man, you wanna know what? Me and Joe were just having this conversation, and I told him, I was like, there's people around here. They don't want to see you make it. Their life suck. They don't get to chase their dreams. They're not doing anything close to what they wanted to do. Like, there's somebody, you know, you never know. The people in your circle, or the people who are in, even outside of that, your immediate circle, the people in that bigger social circle, they see you fucking, he making rap music. Dang, you know what I wanted to do when I was young? I wanted to be a ballerina, or I wanted to be president of the United States, whatever. But they didn't chase their dreams.
Yeah.
They got funneled into the system and were like, this is how it's going to go. Being a dream chaser is rebellious. You got to think, because just think about it. When you're chasing your dreams, definitely when you ain't making no money, like, you know, everybody looking at you crazy. They're like, oh, well, like, yeah, you doing something that is, it ain't
absurd.
Yeah,
what the hell?
It's not profitable.
Bro.
They're like, but see, and that's what's wrong with us in America. Everything has to make money all the time. Like, sometimes I feel like we as Americans take money way too serious. But I mean, and there's a good reason why. But at the same time, it's like, yo. But okay, so you got the people who aren't chasing their dreams, and they're mad at you that you're chasing your dreams, so they're not going to ever support you. They may pretend it in your face or whatever, but they're really just upset that they never chased their dreams. And then you got the people who want to be too cool. They don't want to be the first person to like your shit.
Yeah,
because they don't want to be considered obscure and different. They want to be like everybody else. It really goes back to that herd. That thing right there goes back to the herd mentality thing. It's like, if everybody else ain't on,
why should I be the first one on? Why should I do it?
If I don't see at least 100 people fucking with you, why do I even care? Like, you know what I'm saying? And that's as artists and as podcaster, it's just people who are in the thing, this thing that we call the entertainment air bubble, right? Mm-hmm. It's hard to get people to pay attention to you, definitely when you're not making any noise. But that's because, man, like I said, they either hating or they too cool for school.
Which is crazy.
And all these people, the same people who hating and too cool for school, when they see success,
yeah, they'll be the same one to say, I knew you could have done it. I believed in you. I could see it happening. No, you did not, bro.
Yeah.
Because to me, it's like, if this is your homie, if this is your brother, if this is your sister, whoever this is, you should be the number one to support it. You should be the number one to push it out there. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, it's like, unless you already know from the get-go, if it's honest truth, if you saying somebody rapping and you go like, yeah, that ain't it, bro, like, and you see them going over numerous times and you tell them the honest truth, then I get it. Like, them bars ain't it. Yeah. That song ain't it. You can't sing. You can't do it. And you just being honest with somebody. It's like, I don't want to hurt your feelings. I don't want you to feel like, yo, I don't want somebody else to do it. Let me tell you right now, you're not getting off the ground. Yeah. Like, real shit. Like, I listened to it, this ain't it. Or even acting or whatever. But then it goes on the other foot where it's like, if you see somebody's putting the work and they've elevated, you can see from progression. Like I said, you see from when they first started working and they say, okay, I could see something. Then you see, damn, these bars are getting different. Damn, his acting getting different. Damn, he's really studying. He's really doing this. And you can see there's difference. You should be the first one to go like, yo, my boy's on fire. Like, let him, I gotta push this out there. I gotta be the first one to be on this track to hear what's going on. To me, that rallies, and for a lot of y'all don't understand, that support there helps a lot of entertainers. Yeah. No matter if it's actor, comedian, even an artist or whatever, it helps them because that one supporter, and I always said it, you do that one could grow to 2 grows to 4 goes to 8, and it multiplies.
Yeah.
Because if you see it, somebody else is going to see the same thing too. Somebody else is going to believe, because there's a reason why you're believing. And you know what I mean? But all it takes is that initial spark to ignite the flame.
Yeah.
And then once that goes, bro, it goes. But if nobody's willing to, besides us artists trying to push it ourselves or whatever, if a fan, even if an initial don't ignite that spark, we ain't gonna go nowhere. And I always find it's great to get the fans that we don't know, because at the end of the day, they don't know us personally, they don't know us thing, but they love us purely for what we're giving them.
Yeah.
But it's also better when you get the fans that you do know, meaning as your family members, your friends, because that support hits a little bit different.
Yeah.
Because now you realize that your circle really believes in your craft. It shouldn't take the outside man to support me first, so the inside man to come and say, yeah, I seen it.
Yeah.
Nah, bro, that shouldn't how it works.
Yeah, where were you at the shows? Where were you at when we were dropping music? Where was all the likes? Where was the shares? Where was all that shit? And that's the reason why I wrote Own Way. People don't understand. Like, I think sometimes, definitely with my music, I'm always putting a message. That's always understood. Like, there's a reason I record. I don't record nothing if I don't believe in it.
That's
you
facts.
know what I mean? So, like, when I wrote Own Way, it wasn't just to say, oh, there was people in my life that didn't fuck with me, so fuck them. You know what I'm saying? That song was meant for, like, the people who didn't believe in what we were doing, didn't believe. That's why I was like, fuck them, I don't need them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's because it's like, man, the way I guess with the way that I've lived my life has brought me to the point where I've always been on the outside. Like, I remember being young and feeling on the outside because I was the only boy, right?
Yeah.
I remember in my young teenage years, my whole family was down my neck because I was running the streets, right? And then me and the whole rehab thing. Like, so I've always been, and the main reason I also wrote the song Ode to the Hardhead is because I've always been on the outside. I've always been a black sheep character in the story that is life, right?
Yeah.
So but that's also gave me the wherewithal to be like, you know what? Not everybody's going to see what I see. Not everybody's going to want what I want. And they won't get where I'm coming from all the time. So, you know what? The reason I do this is not only because I love it, but there's people out there that feel just like me, and those are the people I'm looking for.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I know my people are out there. I'm just looking for them. And so if you're not my people, you know, you're not going to be there. Like, I could love you to death, and you could be right there. You don't have to support my music. Like I tell people this all the time. Like, yeah, you don't see where I'm going. I still love you though. But at the same time, whenever this shit pop off, don't be in my pockets.
That's a fact.
Don't be sitting here trying to dig in my shit, because at the end of the day, pause. Don't be trying to dig in my pockets, because at the end of the day, I'm trying to make my dreams come true. And if you don't see my vision, you don't see my dream, I don't need you. I'm gonna go my own way. I'm gonna go against the grain. And basically, that song is basically saying, y'all can follow the beaten path. I got my own path. I've been given the choice that I could choose this, and the only way I can ever see what's at the end of that road is if I start putting feet to pavement. You know what I mean? Like, for real. Like, and that, at the end of the day, man, I think also that's what motivates me to want to, like, keep going. Every time I post something and I get the same 5-6 people, it's like, you know what? Yeah, thank y'all. Yeah. At least I know y'all 5-6 is still fucking with me. But it also motivates me, like, man, as many people as I know, and y'all ain't, man. Yeah, all right, bet. I'm gonna keep going, and y'all, I'm not gonna give y'all the benefit of the doubt of seeing me stop.
Nah, that's facts.
Because
you can't. Because to me, sometimes it makes them win. It makes them feel like, he was gonna fall off, or it feels like, he was never gonna do this shit seriously.
That's what I said. They want to see you fail, bro.
You feel me?
Yeah,
and that's sad. You know what I mean? It's really sad that that's what the mindset is, because I don't know, bro. It's like people see enjoyments of failure and shit. You feel me? And I don't understand that. But then again, it goes back to what you said too, because the fact of the matter is they never succeeded in their dreams or their beliefs. So why should anybody else?
Misery loves company, bro.
Facts. You know what I mean? And to me personally, like, going back to it, you know what I mean? I've never, hell, I already said it. I never thought I'd be here. I never thought I'd be behind the mic, even though a lot of people haven't heard a lot of the new songs that I have.
We gonna get you there.
We gonna get there.
I don't give a fuck if I gotta grease the wheels and push you down a hill, bro. We gonna get you there.
You know what I mean? Like, a lot of people haven't heard, but I never thought I'd see myself here, because at the end of the day, like I said before, like, with me personally, I was more of a behind the scenes person. I really didn't like spotlight. Don't get me wrong. Have I done acting situations? Yes, I have. Have people told me when I was younger, yo, why don't you take it up? It wasn't my thing. It wasn't something that I was interested in. It wasn't something that I could say like, yeah, this is, I could see this as a future, because I really didn't. You know what I mean? I really didn't. And for a minute there, you know, me being the person, just like you felt like an outsider sometimes, because at the end of the day, well, majority of the times, I really didn't find where I fit in with a lot of things. Music wise, I've always gone against the grain. Like I said, if it wasn't because of you, more for hip hop. Like, a lot of people don't know, like, hip hop wasn't really my go-to when it comes down to music. I always followed music that felt good for me.
Yeah.
And there's not really no specific genre. Yes, my main is going to be from the Caribbean soca, but a lot of the times really wasn't even soca. I will find an EDM track, I'll find a rock track, depending on what it is. Like, at the time, younger too, once it was an upbeat track, no matter where it's from, I'm fucking with an upbeat track.
Yeah.
Because that's where I used to feel like, nobody knows, R&B wasn't my thing back in the day.
Yeah.
Like, when my sisters and them used to listen to R&B and all this, I was like, this thing too slow. Like, I don't like this shit. Like, it didn't bring nothing until you get older and you start listening back to them tracks and you say, oh, now I see why they like it. You know what I mean? And you start falling yourself into a lot of these tracks because you start listening. So with me, I always felt like I didn't have a fit in. And it's crazy because me and Uncle D had this conversation before where I felt like everybody had their own niche. You know what I mean? Like, you got the car guys that will sit down there and break down different cars, the engines, and different make and models. Once again, you have the hip-hop guys. Even when you listen to it musically wise, it's the guys that will sit down there and bring up names that you never really heard of.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because they deep dive into this thing. Even comic books, like, shout out to homie Jay. You know what I mean? He will sit up there and break down different comic books from Black Panther, Iron Man and Spider-Man and all this type, and then give you different stories and what world they in. And then to me, I was like, I never felt like I found my niche in situations, because I'm like, I don't belong here. I don't belong here. I don't belong here. And even coming into the music game, you know what I mean, when I started listening, I always felt like I didn't have my own niche there anyway, because a lot of people don't know my mindset of music, especially hip-hop. I always felt like hip-hop cultivated, well, it was about the struggle. A lot of it was about the struggle when we first came into the game. But I always felt like listening to hip-hop was more about the streets. And I've said this before on episodes before, and I was like, I always felt that it was. But then, with me stepping into it, I had to find my own lane, because I'm not from the streets. I don't know nothing about it. I've always steered away from it because I've been compared to too many times to niggas from the streets based off of how I walk or how I think. Like, you remind me of this? I was like, oh, hell no. I don't need to be reminded of nothing. Yeah. I'm not doing nothing.
Not me.
You feel me? And like I said, me and Archie already had this conversation before. Like, the mindset of it, I've never understood a lot of things. And he broke it down to me. And it's like, in my music, it never reflected that. You know what I mean? And what I've thought. But then I had to pave my own lane. I had to figure it out. Like, what do you want to talk about? Like, fuck everything else. What do you want to talk about? What do you want to bring out?
I feel definitely like, so hip hop mainstream, right? We watched that video.
Mm-hmm.
We watched that video the other day. Sorry, everybody, my phone vibrating. Y'all can probably hear it. Anyway, we watched that video that I sent you, or whatever, right? And there was that one part where they were saying, like, you get big and they want you to make this type of music, talk about this. Once you get those major labels behind you, you lose pretty much your creativity, your artist creativity. But what I feel like the truth is, hip hop, it don't matter being black and where you come from or your background. But hip hop is uniquely special because it is black made, right? It is something that me as a black artist, I can use as a vehicle to take me to where forward. To get to paint the picture or tell the story or to express my emotions. It's something unique. It's something that we created out of all these other genres, and it was born. I feel like it doesn't matter, right? We put as people, I mean black, white, Asian, Hispanic, definitely here in America, we put too much value on what somebody else tells us is cool. You know what I'm saying?
What's trendy, what's popping.
And if you think about it, let's go back to the late 80s, early 90s, mid 90s. There was a lot of creative rappers who weren't talking about any of the street shit. Yeah. They were on some let's raise everybody's conscience level, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like at some point, I don't know, this is the biggest hip hop conspiracy theory, is like at some point something happened, and now all of a sudden nobody talks about positive things in hip hop anymore. I remember there being like a few songs, I think Nas and like, I'm trying to think of the other guy. Back in the day, they were on the radio. I Know I Can't and Trick Daddy. They were making positive music, but that was probably the last time I've heard something just like just talking to the kids and stuff like that. So, what I'm trying to get at is, it doesn't matter what you're doing in hip hop, because the thing is nowadays, everybody want to be the coolest guy. Everybody wants to be this. Everybody want to be the street dude. Everybody want to look that part and play their role. But at the end of the day, that's not what hip hop was brought here for. Like when hip hop became what it became, it's because people in the hood and they didn't have a way to express themselves.
Yeah.
So you telling me we're still talking about the same shit that they were talking about back then? No, we should have elevated and grown, right? And that's why I guess me personally, in today's music, in the era of it, that's why I like Kendrick Lamar and I like J. Cole. It's because they don't have to talk about street shit, and they still are big and famous. Yeah. It represents everything that I hold true as values in hip hop. My pen, because to me, as a hip hop rapper, my pen is the only thing that matters. Mm-hmm. My ability to hold somebody's attention, and my ability to be honest and truthful in the music that I make. I think those are the only thing that matters. This other shit, I don't want to be Future.
You see,
you know what I'm saying?
But that's the crazy thing. That's what makes it kind of hard when you sit down there and think about it, because of what you see. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because of what you see on TV or what you see is popping. Like, yes, we have Kendrick, we have Cole, we have a lot of guys like Hopsin, we got Absol, because of what you see really on a regular, because when you think about these guys that I just named, mm-hmm. they're not on a regular basis. Yeah. When you think about it, they all came out, you start, especially like Kendrick and Cole, they came out, they were hot, mid 2000s, they were them guys. Mm-hmm. But then once they start growing, they start dissipating. Yeah. So what filled in that gap was what was trending, what was popping. Like I said, from mumble rap to it started getting to the point where that's what we saw. Well,
and see, I think to to kind of try to like work that point, right? I think it's more of like you got artists like Kendrick and Cole who don't drop. They don't gotta drop all the time.
True.
They make timeless music.
Yeah.
So I can go back and listen to Good Kid, Mad City, and I still like this shit. It holds up today. I can go back to listen to Born Sinner, and that shit holds up today. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I don't feel like and that's the difference between being trendy and being like an actual artist. Is like you can drop music that is timeless. When I'm in my 80s and my grandkids or great grandkids are asking me, Papa, what you listen to? I'm gonna be like, let me show you this song called "A Tale of Two Cities" by J. Cole. Like, you know what I'm saying? Or let me put you on to "A Pimp a Butterfly" by Kendrick Lamar.
Yeah, that's
like, you know what I mean? Hell, don't get me wrong. I love a good street record just like anybody else. But that's why I like Freddie Gibbs. Is because Freddie Gibbs can talk that street shit, but his pen is amazing. He's a lyricist. He ain't following no trends.
Yeah.
That's why I like Westside Gunn and them. Because yeah, they're talking about a bunch of street shit, but they're lyrical about it. It's showing that they have that poet in them. You know what I mean?
You see that, but that's what I'm saying. That's what a lot of disconnect is, because when you think about it, for these past few, when you bring up, like I said, when you bring up certain artists' names, who is the really ones are you really saying? Especially for let's take it out from our ages, and you go younger.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that these young kids don't know who Freddie Gibbs is. I'm not saying these young kids don't know who Westside Gunn is. But the thing about this is who was in your face more a lot. And when you think about it, it was a Lil Yachty, it was, Lil Durk, it was these guys. And then when you sit down there and think about what they're talking about a lot of the times, no matter if certain, because don't get me wrong, like Lil Durk, he does have tracks where he changed up. But when you sit down there and think about a lot of these things, they take on the trendiness. Yeah. So for an up and coming artist, male or female, you tend to take on the trend. Yeah. No matter if you, like we've said before, no matter if you try to go like, I'm about to be this way, no matter if I'm a neo soul type of artist, no matter if I'm more of really a eccentric type of artist, no matter whatever you try to be as, you realize that coming into the game is like, I have to be a female-wise ratchet artist. I have to be a hood artist for somebody to see me. Yeah, somebody care about my music. Yeah, and that's why I said for me, it fucks with you. You feel me? It kind of messes with your mindset, because then you start doubting yourself. You start doubting, is my pen really good enough? Yeah. You know what I mean? Do I really have what it takes? No matter if your pen could be nice. But then when you realize, when you listen to a lot of these artists, and they like to say, they're using ABC bars, candy bars on this bitch. And then you're putting so much thought and effort into your words, into your pen, like your rhyme scheme, your flow. You're putting so much into this. And these guys are telling you Dr. Seuss shit. Yeah. And then you're like, yo, am I really, this is what's trending? Am I really up to that standard? Like, you know what I mean? See, it makes you think.
I think there's the problem, right? And I feel like the solution is, all right, so from my point of view as a hip hop artist, I feel like this is what happened, right? Like I said, 90s, we had people working to try to be conscious. And it didn't even have to be conscious like you just were lyrical. Like, you thought about your body. They were deep, and you were putting big words, and you were making, people had to feel like, oh shit, let me replay that. What did he just say? And your brain had to put it together, right? It seems like, to dumb it down and make it like wholesale, that's what they had to take away, that thing, because how is this thing better marketed, if that's the word? But how do you market it more better so you can sell it to the world? Dumb it down, water it down, give people more party music. It's easy to sell. I can sell you anything if it's sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I kind of feel like that's what being a part of a record label does. I feel like people nowadays, though, who are more lyrical, people are fiending for that stuff. I promise you they are. I'm on these hip hop pages and these vlogs, and there are multiple people, especially on TikTok, who are taking songs and breaking them down, and they're doing deep dissertations on like artists. They're having to go back to the 90s and be like, you may not have caught this bar, but let me tell you what Biggie was breaking down. Facts. You know what I mean? And so, like, I think when it comes down to being like, is my pen good enough? It's not about that. It's about being able to what it takes. I guess this is what I'm trying to get to, is like just the same way they push all that bullshit, there has to be an equal push of the deeper shit, because the deeper shit is always, it's going to outlast. Like I said, Good Kid, Mad City, Born Center, that shit is always going to outlast the shit that I was listening to in 2012 that was just boppy and street shit, because I'm always going to be able to go back to that and be like, I remember I felt like this. I'll be able to go back to, but I'll be like, this is, yeah, me and my homeboys, we were partying. But when I needed the music, this was there. Yeah. And I feel like there's not enough push for that. And if you can balance the scales, or push this one a little higher, whatever, you'll start seeing that the mind of the people will change. And I wouldn't, and going to the doubting the pen thing, man, that's what I try to keep myself out of that headspace, is because I'm like, you know what, I know I'm good. Yeah. I think artistically right now I'm just in a place where I can't do everything that I want to, but one day I'm gonna get there, right? But at the same time, it's like, I know I'm good. I have to believe in myself. I have to believe in what I'm doing, because if I don't believe in it, going back to the people who don't want to like it because it ain't cool enough for them, or to the people who want to see me succeed, you know, I'm just giving in, you know, to that shit. If I don't fuck with me, who gonna fuck with me?
That's a fact.
You get what I'm saying?
But that's what I'm saying. But I feel like, to me, it took, like, for me, a lot of people don't know, like, it took me a while. Because at the end of the day, when you have certain concepts in your head, you start seeing it different. You know what I mean? In a sense of, like I said, a lot of people don't know. The way I've from the beginning, and I would say my little backstory when it comes to it. From the beginning, there's a lot of tracks that a lot of people might not even hear, because of where my mindset was. I'm more, like, for me, based off of, if nobody listened to Resurrection, that was pretty much is the essence of who I am. I am basically, I look at hip hop from the 90s, not early 2000s. I look at how that was, because at the end of the day, when you think about music back then, just as being an artist, you had to be unique. You could not sound the same. Nobody could have been T.I. or Tip, and they can't be a Tip 2.0. You know what I mean? Tip was Tip. You know what I mean? Naughty by Nature was Naughty by Nature. Yeah. You can't be naughty by the South or naughty by the East. You feel me? You can't have that and sound the same. You feel me? Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. So when it came down to it, the reason why, like you were saying, the reason why these made these guys so unique was because of the fact of the matter is they had to present themselves, not only based off of the music, but based off of how they represent themselves, how they present themselves out here, to be like, that's a Naughty by Nature. Yeah. That's a Nori track. You feel me? That's a Jadakiss track. You could hear it. That's a Lox track. That's a Dipset track, because they had to. And which is crazy when you were singing that, when you brought that up, when people was breaking down bars. I said, when you think about it now, it's like, what is there to break down? Yeah. What is really there to break down?
Everything is there.
Everything is there. You know what I mean? And then you got to think about it too. When it came down to why I could call Jadakiss' name and Naughty by Nature's name, because the fact of the matter is, no matter what, their music will always ring off. They will have to ring off. Yeah. You know what I mean? They couldn't step into the game and give you something so simple and then expect that, oh, I'm going to listen to this 20 years later. Yeah. No. You had to give something. You had to bring something to the table that I'm gonna invest my money into you.
Yeah.
This is why all the OGs could step out in the field now 20 years, 15 years later and go like, you thought y'all had the game?
Hey, think about it. Real talk.
The real shit.
Look, Joe, shout out Joe the poet. Joe, and if you hear this and you go vote for Joe, he's trying to win a competition with Ice Cube and Scarface.
Ooh.
Those are two legends. But they're able to make a song and drop it in 2025 and still make enough noise.
That's what I'm saying.
That shit, that means something. If you're a young up and coming artist, you should probably be like, you know what? And let me put it like this. I feel like hip hop. All right, so what? We're going into like the 50. I want to say it's either 51 or 52 years that hip hop's been around.
Past that. I think 52, 53.
Okay, so
because the year's been going fast.
Yeah, boy, you ain't lying. You ain't lying. So 50 to 53 years of hip hop been around, right? So, but in all actuality, you know what I'm saying, hip hop is still a youngling. Mm-hmm. I mean, 50 years ain't shit, but like, it's going through a personality change. But at the same time, young artists out there, think about your craft. Do you want to be just a fly-by-night guy? Because I get it. You want to make your money. You want to blow up real quick, and this is the easiest way to do it. But what is that what you want your legacy to be?
That's a fact.
Do you want to be remembered as like somebody who changed the game forever, or somebody who brought something to the table, a new flow scheme, a new style, a new something? You got to think about that. This,
think about
for some of us out there, and I just told Jay this. Me, when we were in the booth, we were at the studio today, and I was with Joe and I was with Jay, and we were talking about dealing with people. And like the last thing I said to them was like, you know what? I don't fuck with, I said, you notice I only fuck with a certain type of people is because I can tell they don't love it like I do.
Yeah.
And I'm meaning that because like I damn near come close to punching them for this shit because it's my life. Yeah, if you go back and listen to the last episode, I said without hip hop I'm nothing.
Yeah.
Without this music, this shit is everything to me. I need it. And I take it serious. I may not, and I love when I learn about newer stuff. I love when my pop teaches me about like older artists, or my mom tells me about older artists, because they're in their 50s now. They got to see hip hop when it was really growing. And
the birth of it, you could say.
Yeah, shit. Man, I remember my mom put me on the LL Cool J for the first time, bro. That shit was like, what?
Facts.
Yeah, and I didn't know he had that them bars.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Cool J, man. But anyway,
listen to him now. Listen to that last album that he did. He still got them bars.
I ain't listened to it yet.
Sheesh, you missing out.
I listened to the Nas though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like the OGs could still come out here and still do it, even though it's a young man's game. But at the end of the day, bro, you can still. They already showing y'all. LL Cool J been in the game for 40 years.
You know what? I've been wondering why. Let me look at the camera. Why can you become a famous country singer at like 38? You can become a famous R&B singer at like 40.
But hip hop is you have to be in the 20s or
you gotta be 19.
Teen, yeah. I've always wondered that.
Y'all, man, look, I'm gonna be blunt. Y'all too much of some dick rides. Real shit, man. Stop it. Grow up. I want my music to grow up with me. I would real talk. And I hope y'all understand that. And I know I'm just a random dude out in West Texas who's talking about hip hop on a microphone with his brother-in-law. But at the same time, y'all, man, grow up. For real.
See, but that's the thing though. That's what has always been posted. Like, especially after a while, it's been posted like that. Like you have to be young to do this. And at the end of the day, you really don't, because like I said, look at the past year that happened. Ice Cube is back. Exhibit is back, signed a new deal. with a whole different company. You know what I mean? And he's back. Like I said, you have LL Cool J stepped out. Mm-hmm. You feel me? Hell, Dre and Snoop stepped out. Mm-hmm. So as at the end of the day, you can't come and tell me it's a young man's sport when you have these guys. Yeah, they may have been in it for so long, but at the end of the day, they dropping albums, and we're not talking about we're dropping 10, 12. They're dropping 19 song albums.
Look, let me tell you, it's because we ain't got nobody to listen to. Y'all made the OGs step out because who we supposed to listen to? Mm-hmm. Who? Yeah, I mean, everybody. You get famous for 2 years and then you disappear.
Yeah,
you won't. I mean, now hip hop is in a drought. It's basically the truth. Drought, yeah. Well, that's probably the reason why we got Drake and Kendrick beefing. Cause y'all motherfuckers want to just follow whatever trend, TikTok, Instagram. Y'all ain't real hip hop listeners. Y'all only listen to hip hop because it's cool. You probably learned about hip hop when you were 16. You didn't grow up with it in your household. Yeah. You didn't grow up with it being a part of your everyday life. Yeah. Somebody else put you on the hip hop.
Talk that shit.
And that's the truth, man. Boy, don't get me off. Don't give me
But that's the truth. But it's the truth though. Like I said, you know what I mean? And I'm not gonna sit up here and say I grew up with it, but at the end of the day you learn about it.
But the thing is you have the spirit of it.
Yeah, because when you think about it, as like I've always said, I've always compared it to, for what hip hop and R&B was, I always say it's soca and reggae. So at the end of the day, the consciousness of reggae and how reggae was is like rap. Because at the end of the day, they're telling the stories of the struggles. They're telling the stories of their pain. They're telling the stories of what they've gone through. Yes, you have dancehall, which is more like, dancehall is more the grittiness of the streets of it. And dancehall is more of the provocative version of it. But at the end of the day, once you grow up with my parents being older, you grow up on the reggae aspect of it. You start hearing things. Like I said, when I bring up Peter Tosh, when you bring up, Bob Marley, you start realizing like, they're really talking about what's going on, what they're going through between the governmental situations and everything. Like the power that's behind the people need to know like what's going on. So that's how I've always correlated what rap was, because once again, when I started learning the history of rap, besides it being the DJs and the graffiti artists and the break dancers, when they started MCing with the DJs. And it turned into Rapper's Delight, and then it turned into I'm keep messing up that name of the song, but it's Broken Glass everywhere. Like the message. You start sitting up there and you realizing that they're talking about their struggles. They're talking about what they see on the everyday life. Yeah, you know what I mean. And this is, like we said earlier, this is about telling them like this is my situation.
And you're right. You're right, bro. And I'm telling you right now. So that's what I think the correlation that you're making is like back then with hip hop, it was a statement. Yeah, there was a statement to be had when people started realizing like, oh, people listening to, why don't we say something? Why don't I try to get my thought process out there? Because hip hop started out like. Rapper's Delight was basically what you get nowadays. It was like a radio single. It was if we were to put it in like, it was what Drake was. Yeah, it was solely just to get you moving.
Heavy to the hip hop. Don't stop, rock to the bang, baby.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It was just to get you moving, and it was. But then people started realizing after the message came out. Oh, we can use this for something different. I can talk my talk. I can let you know, like, it ain't easy where I'm from. I can let you know that, like, man, we struggling here. I can let you know what it's like in my neighborhood. And hip hop has lost, like I said this on another podcast that we did. It's lost its edge. Hip hop used to be revolutionary. It was a school for black thought. Black excellence. It was like, this is the way we're thinking. You're talking about kids probably who grew up around the Panthers. You talking about people who grew up around the 5%ers. You know what I'm saying? Getting taught stuff like that. Getting taught stuff by the vice lords. Getting taught stuff by the gangster disciples who were out there actually talking knowledge back then. They weren't just street gangs. They were fraternities almost, right? And they were talking about growing and moving as black people, right? But now you don't have that. You don't have that. And I think that's the illness that needs to be cured, is like we as a people, the leaders of this genre, of this movement, the reason why it's in such a disarray, and you get white boys like Ian who think they can clap back at Tyler the Creator, who is an actual artist who is creative, is because we're not holding anybody accountable nowadays. We took away all the gatekeepers and opened up the door. I don't care about white people rapping. Matter of fact, I love to see people adapt into hip hop, but you have to adapt into what we are doing. Mm-hmm. It's not going to be what you want it to be. It's what we want it to be, and it's going to stay that way. And we don't have that. We don't have that. We've lost our only foothold, and we're not controlling the car anymore. Mm-mm. And that's the reason why you gotta have damn, I wish Tupac was around to come back and drop another tape. But you gotta have Cube, and you gotta have Snoop, and you gotta have Nas, and you gotta have L, because man, like, how else are you gonna remember what it was? Yeah, you know what I'm saying? These youngsters, and I was young too. Man, I was young and dumb, and I like young and dumb music. But as I got older, I wanted to know more. But you know, the thing is, there ain't no more thirst to be knowledgeable about this shit anymore. Is because everybody has an opinion nowadays.
Well, that's true. But then again, like I said, like what you said, there's a reason why Drake and Kendrick beefed. There's a reason. No matter, like, let's take away the years of it. Mm-hmm. Just look at it in a sense of new school, old school. Mm-hmm. Think about it. No matter how many, I know we always said we wasn't going to talk about it, but it always come back correlating to the same thing. It's always come back.
It's a battle for the soul of hip-hop.
It's a battle for the soul. Honestly. Because when you sit down here and think about it, Drake represented a lot of the new school. No matter what he's done in the past, he changed with trends. He changed over time, and it became more of a vibey type of situation. Kendrick stayed 10 toes down on what his artistry was. Mm-hmm. No matter if you found that he was doing a more of a upscale beat or whatever, more uptone or whatever, is always a message behind a lot of Kendrick's albums. A lot of his albums, all of his albums have has messages behind it. You just have to tap in and listen to it. Mm-hmm. So when you sit down here and you watch this beef that goes on, because even everything that he's touched, I'm gonna say everything that he's touched turns to gold this year. Kendrick touched everything this year between the Super Bowl and whatever. People are still talking about it to this day. People are still using it. Mm-hmm. So at the end of the day, if people want to tell me, oh, Kendrick is this type of artist, no.
Yeah, first off, on that point, and I'm gonna let you finish. Mm-hmm. When you have people in Congress making videos on TikTok to they not like us. Mm-hmm. Okay. All right. That's all I gotta say. Yeah, that's all I gotta say.
But
all right.
When you look at that in the sense of, like you said, the battle for the soul of hip hop, you start realize what a lot of people's yearning for. Mm-hmm. Because at the end of the day, a lot of the trendiness, you start realizing artists don't last. Mm-hmm. Artists don't survive. Mm-hmm. They always say from their freshman year, they don't even pass their senior year. Mm-hmm. If we got to talk about high school years, they go to their sophomore year, and then by their junior year they tap out. Yeah, that showed in that battle, that literally speaking, that fuck the trend. Stay true to who you are, mm-hmm. because it's gonna get you far, mm-hmm. in this whole game.
Yeah.
If you wanna stray left and follow the trend, your career is about to end.
Yeah.
At the end of the day. So that's why I always felt like that battle there is more deeper than a lot of people think. No matter what, to me, I'll go like this. No matter what they believe, even as artists, what they thought this battle was, when you sit down there and take a step back and look at the whole thing in a whole, you start seeing the two dynamics hit. No matter, and I always said it, when it came down to the J. Cole situation, I've always been on the thing, I've always gonna make the excuses like maybe this, maybe that, but in my excuse for this, I'm kind of glad he wasn't in it, because it really became two titans of both sides, showing you this is what I represent. I represent everything from the old school, how I grew up, how this wasn't that. This represent, I'm about the new school, I'm about to catch the party, I'm about the wave, I'm about to stay on the trend, I'm about to stand on the vibe. But at the end of the day, the longevity of it is this.
Yeah.
When he elevated, OGs came out a lot heavier.
Yeah.
Everything that represented hip hop was like, yo, we are reviving, we are rejuvenated again, because a lyricist came out and showed that I don't have to be in this space for 5 years, 6 years, 10 years, and I could still come back and dominate.
Yeah.
I could still come back and put my pen and spread a message to this whole situation, because even in Not Like Us, he gave y'all a history lesson about this whole situation while dissing somebody at the same time.
Yeah, which goes to show, like, you can be poetic and artsy, whatever, and you can still get people moving. Like, but I also feel like, so the J. Cole thing, right? I think the reason why a lot of people, when we come down to, and this is probably my official thought, and it's because what Freddie Gibbs is trying to do to J. Cole right now. Freddie is on J. Cole's neck, and it's probably because of Cole's fans, but Freddie is on J. Cole's neck right now. It's because, like, bro, in the world of hip hop, if we are going back to the old ways, you ain't cutting the mustard. You sat there in front of the world and was like, my bad. Like, no. So now you got somebody like Freddie Gibbs who's like, he you ain't see that new song he dropped? He had this crazy picture. It's like this cartoon picture, and I want to say something. It's called. He said something in the hook talking about the big two. He took Cole all the way out of the conversation. It's because, like, bro, like, you forfeited your thing. So I think, I guess my point is like, in the battle for hip hop's soul, you gotta be willing to drop some motherfuckers. You get what I'm saying? You gotta be willing to, because there's going from, if we're gonna change the way we do hip hop again, it's gonna have to be almost like if it was a real war. There's gonna be people on both sides fighting for what they consider to be what they hip hop, and then you're gonna have casualties. But you, as a motherfucker who could have been on the front lines fighting for this shit, you decided to bounce out, and then after this shit, you see Cole out in the streets in a hoodie that says "I'm retired." Bro, shut your ass up. Hang it up then. We don't want it to fall off then. Put that shit up. I'm gonna tell you, as a rapper, like, honestly, I ain't touching Cole right now, but as a rapper, I'd be licking my chops like the hyenas on Lion King. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now you got a broken leg, my boy.
Yeah, facts.
Yeah, we fucking you up. Yeah, fucking you up.
That's why Freddie Gibbs coming at him the way he is, because at the end of the day, you can't say nothing about it.
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
You can't say nothing. He can't say nothing. He can't call himself. Like, it, no matter how, like a lot of people know, no matter how many times I can sit up here and say, like I said, make the excuses. No matter how many times, you can't. The reality of it is, you can't call yourself the greatest of all time. You can't call yourself, you can't say that you're gonna slaughter people, and you had your chance to do it against your peers that are literally considered the big three with you. You know what I mean? You can't do it because at the end of the day, Drake stepped up, Kendrick stepped up. You fall back. You really said what your album ought to be. You fell off.
Yeah, you know what? And I have utmost respect for Drake. You know, there's a lot of Drake hate. The Kendrick fans love to talk a lot of shit. The Drake fans love a lot of, but you know what? One thing I can respect about Drake is that man stood 10 toes down, and he was not afraid
to battle. He
wasn't afraid to jump in the deep end. And I think that's what makes it even sadder about the Cole thing, is because this man decided, if you want to consider it a war for the soul of hip hop, you were like, I don't want nothing to do with this. It's gonna get too bloody for me. Bitch, it's war. I know for damn sure I wouldn't want you on my side.
Yeah, if you want to back out like that.
Yeah,
like,
bro. It's almost like you defending your house, right? You got some invaders. They trying to run into your house. You hand your bro the thingy. You know what I'm saying? You like, hey man, I'm gonna need you to hold this just in case. And he like, nah, bro. I'm actually finna to walk out the back door, and you can fight for this shit yourself. That's what it feels like, and I think what it is like, okay, Cole, you can be peace loving, but we sometimes we need to see that dog in you, and not just that, but we just need, because you can't say the shit you say without that dog. That's and bringing it back to just the whole topic. It's like, how can you say this is the thing you love and you're not willing to defend it? Either side you're on, because it's about hip hop. It's you got guys over here who's like, no, this is what hip hop is, and then you got another side over here saying no, but we are real hip hop. Both sides think they're real hip hop. Both sides think they're the ones. You know what I mean? You didn't pick a side. You didn't do nothing. You were just like, I don't even want nothing to do with this. But so when hip hop moves on, whatever side falls, you're not going to be a part of the conversation. That's the truth.
That's a fact.
Cole's name is always going to be. It's going to be. I think you know how you motherfuckers say your name is Mud.
Yeah.
Because that comes from an actual person. The motherfucker's name will forever be considered as an insult. You gon' from now on, motherfuckers gonna say you pulled a Cole. Yeah. Your legacy will forever be bowing out and dipping off. You know what I'm saying?
So do you think? I know we stared off a little bit.
Yeah, we done went all the way off tracks.
It's just a thought. Do you think? Well, how can I put this? If he faces off against Freddie Gibbs, do you think it will still cement him as he could be still part of that big three? Even though if he's done the third, no matter if he's still the third, do you think that will still cement him as, you know what? Yeah, I played with me. I backed out based off of whatever morals or whatever he had. But now you got you coming out of here that you wasn't even a part of this whole situation. You're coming at me. And now if he comes back on some, you know what, fuck this. I'm not Cole, I'm on that Jermaine, I'm on whatever you want to call him. Do you think that will cement him back up? Did you like, oh shit, this is what Cole really got type shit?
I think this is what I think. He's in a lose-lose. Because if he faces Freddie and he obliterates him, people are gonna be like, why couldn't you do this in the first place, right? But if he doesn't do anything with Freddie, people are gonna be like, this is our fucking point. Like, you're not willing to do anything.
That's kind of crazy when you sit down and think about it. That's kind of, and then
it's like, look,
it's like you're on a stalemate type shit.
Think about this as, I look at it like I'm watching One Piece.
Yeah.
Big three: Luffy, Zoro, Sanji. Sanji say, nah. I'm not kicking nobody.
I'm not kicking nobody in the chest, man. This black
I'm not doing this.
Retired.
I'm not protecting Nami. I'm not protecting the ship. Y'all got it. He's basically Usopp.
Damn.
You get what I'm saying?
Damn.
So, like, you're Usopp. Usopp has his role, and you're going to always have that role, but you're Usopp. You know we can't depend on you. We know you going to run when times get tough. And the only time you going to hit is when you got your only opening. So, do you want to be known as that nigga? Like, yeah.
Well, it's kind of too late because he can't be Black Leg nor Zoro. So at the end of the day, he kind of took himself out of that.
I'm just saying, like,
which is true. That's what I'm saying. That's why I asked that question, because at the end of the day, like, when you sit down there and think about it, yeah, he did not step to Kendrick or Drake, but now it's like a give is a give. Like, all right, my nigga, like, if you talking about me, and am I supposed to allow you to continue to talk about me? Or am I supposed to obliterate you? Am I supposed to come out and go like, you know what? Y'all wanted this, I'm going to give you that. You feel me? Like, really and truly, if you was in that shoes, what would you do?
If I was in Cole's shoes?
Yeah, like, if you was sitting here, like, you tapped out, you go like, you know what, this is it. I'm not part of that. I'm not part of that whole situation. But then, literally speaking, you got, like I said, Freddie Gibbs coming for you.
What I would do?
What would you do in this situation?
if I'm playing the game of hip hop, and I'm like, you know what?
You're part of Big Three, and you bowed out. He's like, the shit getting crazy. I'm sorry, or whatever.
I would be like, you know what? All right, they wanted to see me fight. Bet. I wait a little bit. I probably kind of what he's doing right now, right? Just stay quiet. Just keep letting my shit go. People gonna make jokes. But when Tom comes back, Freddie, I'm on your ass. And then after Freddie, you know what? Who they saying better than me right now? Bet. I'm on them. And then I try to make my way back up the ladder. It's almost like it's like you remember back in the day, they still do it on Mortal Kombat, like where you got to do the tower. Tower. Yeah, you got to start back at the bottom, bro. And if you want people to fuck with you again, you got to climb your way back up. I mean, you're going to always have respect on your name, but you got a blemish on your record. You got a red mark on your shit. You're like, now it's time for you to do everything you can.
So now, in that situation, the only person I could see you have to go after is Kung Fu Kenny.
Well, that's who you got to go after. That's the big dog at the
That's
top.
what I'm saying. That's the only way you're gonna have to go after it, because at the end of the day, you can't go out. To me, it's.
But Kendrick welcomes the fade. He
I understand that.
He said, "Fuck apologies. I want to see y'all geeked up." Like he's saying, "Bitch, you should have did it."
Yeah.
He said, "I'm willing to fight two niggas at once."
I'm just saying, doing it that way. Like if it's Mortal Kombat, you're doing it that way, coming up the ladder. You can't. To me personally, the final boss.
Yeah, you got to take out Kenny.
You got to take out Kenny.
Yeah, you got to take out King Kunta. You got to
because at the end of the day, to me personally, that's the battle everybody wants.
Mm-hmm. That's the real battle.
That's the real battle.
That was the real battle.
The two lyricists going
Nobody
back.
gave a fuck about Drake. Yeah, really, honestly, because I want to say I got hyped because I was like, oh, Cole and Kendrick about to go
that's
for
what I'm saying.
it.
That's the battle everybody wants. So, like, to me, that's why I say what I said. Like, no matter if it's a lose-lose situation, the only answer to this, to me,
sometimes you got to be a villain.
You got to be the villain.
Dreamville. They call themselves villains. Exactly. Where you at, Cole?
So at the end of the day, to me, that'll be the best bet. Like, take out Freddie if you that guy. Mm-hmm. Not saying that Freddie ain't gonna give you a fight, but if you that guy,
yeah, he gonna give you a fight.
He gonna give you a fight. Yeah. But if you have to do it, you have to obliterate Freddie. Then you have to putting that stamp on, nigga, I'm out here. Mm-hmm. Like, all right, y'all wanted me here, nigga, I'm out here.
Yeah, I think you gotta go against. You gotta get in the booth and you gotta go against all the actual spitters. And then once you get there, and I'm talking about fucking on the West Coast, Ab. You're gonna have to battle against. You're gonna have to get out there. I'm saying you're gonna have to get out into the trenches. I'm talking about full armor, solo leveling type shit.
I ain't gonna lie. He gonna have some fights. He gonna have some battles. Even though a lot of men respect him, and these are people that I've seen on lyrics, is like you said, Ab-Soul. And Ab-Soul was like, you got Cole on this track when he was talking to was it Jid or he was talking to or Daylight, one of them. And he was like, damn, you got Cole on the track. Like, you could tell the respect is there. Like, yo, that's Cole type shit. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean? That's who you...
It's like this. Let me put it like this. If I had a title fight as a boxer, and I said, I was in the ring and I backed out because I was like, this nigga finna to hit me hard as shit. I can, and now if just the same way, if I want that title fight again, I gotta go back around.
Yeah, you gotta go through the circuit.
Yeah, I gotta go back around. People are gonna talk shit about me. Yeah, lose situation. Fuck it. I'm putting my head down, and now I'm just to show y'all that dog get me. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
That's all you can do. People gonna hate you. People gonna love you. People gonna be, people gonna have their opinion. But fuck it. You gotta do if it means that much to you.
Yeah.
But if it don't, then keep doing what you're doing. Just stay away.
But I also feel like too, with him Cole, I feel like people would part the sea to see them two.
Oh yeah.
I feel that's what I feel like real, and this is just my opinion. I feel like if Cole answers Freddie Gibbs, and like I said, don't know how that will go, but because I always, like I said, Freddie Gibbs will give him a fight. But I also feel like too, like literally speaking, if Cole comes in, the way his pen works, the way his mind works, or whatever, and comes in and just shatters. Let's say he shatters through. I feel like really and truly, I don't even feel Ab-Soul or Daylight were going to step into this bitch.
I don't think they would anyway.
I feel they will go like, yo, Kenny, you gotta do this.
Nah, I don't think so. I think after that, you gotta go for like people who also making the claim, like Badass Joey. You gotta. I mean, I'm not saying go pick a fight, but Joey ready to fight somebody. He ready to lyrically spar. You might as well go up there and sell, just like in a boxing ring.
To me, that one there too. Joey got to fight.
Joey, but where Cole at?
Facts. Yeah. I'm not saying. But what I'm saying is that with that with that alone, to me, I'm not taking nothing from Joey. Joey is a great lyricist, but bro, we haven't seen. Like, I'm kind of.
Yeah, Joey ain't dropped anymore.
He haven't dropped, and then I'm kind of disappointed because at the end of the day, bro, you had Daylight. You had Daylight, and to me, like I said, I've said this already, and I probably said it off camera, but I've said it to me personally in that Joey fight. Joey would have to obliterate Rayvon and everybody else, everybody else from West Coast, do a 1v however many, and obliterate them, but make your target Daylight, and then come back around, and if you're that guy, you will have to do your direct shot to Daylight. Yeah, you will have to literally come like, all right, bro, I'm coming for you now. Yeah, but I gotta take out your minions because your minions are talking shit, and I need them little niggas to sit down. Yeah, so that it's me and you. So when me and you coming at it, there ain't no distractions because I'm not worried about them coming back.
So look at this. If you're Cole and your goal is to get back to Kenny, right? You can already see with the Joey shit, there's people you're going to have to go through before you get to him, basically. So let's take all these other rappers out. You gotta beat everybody else who's going to step in line before they let you even get to that level. Is because just the same way they told Joey, they're gonna tell you the same shit. Bitch, you ran.
That's facts. Yeah. They're gonna tell you that. But I also find out is how you murk your first nigga.
Yeah, it's gonna
really detest how
you come in Mike Tyson
because you gotta think about it. If I come on, if I'm coming at you, and it's like I say, is if I'm Cole and I'm facing Freddie Gibbs and he's already attacking me, and I'm just doing block. Then a shank. Yeah. Then everybody gonna look at me like, I could get him. Yeah. But if I come in like he's attacking, I was like, all right, cool, I'm about to you've been running, knockout.
Niggas
Then
show
I'm
up
going
to
like, damn. Like, then you got niggas like Ray Vaughn. Niggas like, hold on, my man. Hold on. Not saying nothing he ain't think, but he's not going to really test because now you're already seeing that this man's mindset on obliteration. Do I want to step into this ring with him?
See, and I feel like, yes, you're right there. Because, and that's the thing. It's just like saying Goku on Ultra Instinct, right? Niggas ain't seen him fight in forever. Everybody know he got this talent. You ain't seen him fight, blah, blah, blah. But then you roll up on him, and this nigga just hits Ultra Instinct instantly. And just start fucking you up. Yeah, you'll be like, whoa.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I get where you're coming from.
That's what I'm saying. So to me, if it's Cole in this situation, you will have to, based off of this fight alone, determines the path that's about to happen next. If you come in on some, really, I'm weave, and then after that, and then I weave. Everybody gonna look at you like,
yeah, you gotta put your best foot forward.
So if I'm gonna come in and go like, you know what, I'm about to step back into the situation. All y'all been talking shit about it. All y'all been running my name. And you have to make a statement off of one track that is so powerful that homeboy can't even step back.
You're right.
Because now, if I'm gonna make a statement, real shit, I have to make a statement and shade Kenny on the shit, and shade Drake on the shit, so that even if it's an innuendo shit, people have to really decipher. Like, wait, hold on, rewind that back. Did he say what? He ain't talking about just Freddie Gibbs. He's obliterating Freddie Gibbs, but he just said, "I'm coming for y'all two niggas."
Yeah, I'm back.
Like, yo, just because I step back, you think I'm a bitch? Nah, nigga. Like, I step back, let y'all do y'all thing, but y'all all call me oh shit. All right, bet. So that's how I feel that's gonna happen. Because then after that, really and truly, like I said, when it comes down to it, I don't feel if he hits it if he gives you that one, I don't feel a lot of these other is gonna come to him. Yes, will we have somebody like a Daylight or an Absol might test it?
To be honest, I feel like that's why you don't see a lot of rappers trying to come at him right now, is because they know. I mean, we all know Cole got
that's what I'm saying.
But the thing is, I feel like on principle, you want in the rap game, you want to battle people. You got to start where everybody else started.
That's why I feel Freddie Gibbs is doing it on the principle of it. It's like, yo, bro, you called yourself this. You said you slaughtering niggas on verses and da, but you had your chance against one of the top lyricists here. Against two of the top artists here. Like, what you mean? Like, everybody wanted to see this happen. Y'all was supposed to do albums and but
we all wanted it.
We all wanted it.
The world wanted it.
And then you bowed out. So that's why I feel like on Freddie Gibbs part of it is, on principle and shit, bro, now you got to step. Like, bro, you down here with me now. Because at the end of the day, like, I'm working on my pen while you sitting up here bowing out. Nobody considering me. So to me, it's like, on Freddie Gibbs, I'm gonna make my claim.
Like I said, them hyenas with their lips chopping. Yeah, everybody want to be the king of the jungle.
That's a fact. But if you play like Simba out here and start knocking niggas out type shit, then you gotta look at Scar like, bro, you about to go with them, bro. Real shit. And then that's why I feel like
let's create the divide.
Create it. And then after that, if you do that, and like I said, depending on how you come out, he's gonna have a different outcome.
What Mufasa say to Simba? Everything the light touches all Yeah, this is where the real ones are.
Exactly. So that's what I'm saying, bro. And that's why I feel to me that's the only path Cole got. Like, really and truly, you gotta hit him. You gotta hit him hard. You gotta come and give him one good gut punch that's like, ooh, yeah, whatever you talking about, bro. Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
Like, he's back. Like, so that at the end of the day, no matter who's next in line, they already know. But like you said, there's a reason why a lot of these people ain't coming for him. There's a reason why, even when people was stepping, because they did have people that did step, that was talking like Simba and whatever, but then after that, you ain't hear nothing after that.
Yeah, because Cole didn't respond.
It's
like, you can't, you look crazy arguing with a nigga by yourself. If you argue with a nigga, you the only one arguing. This other nigga ain't. And I think that's really where Cole's at. Is like, I'm not gonna let them talk.
But too much people talking.
But come on, bro, your reputation is on the line.
That's
here.
what I'm saying.
And if we're going back to competitive hip hop,
You're gonna have to. This isn't the same hip hop. This isn't the same hip hop from a few years ago. We're in different terrain now.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, and it's gonna. I think from here on out, like when you're big, if you're not just making club music and you're talking about you're a lyricist and you're doing that, I think you're gonna have to prove yourself.
That's a fact.
And I just feel like that's where we're at. And honestly, I think that's a good thing because that's gonna push lyricism. But at the end of the day, like if you're just gonna be making club music, because there's a place for that. I grew up around Vice Lords, right? And there's this thing that they believe, you know. I don't even know if I should be saying this shit, but I'm gonna say it anyway. There's a higher man and a lower man, basically. So it's the higher man is more conscious. He's aware, this, that, and this and that, right? And then the lower man, he's more of his the beast form of himself. So quite naturally in hip hop, I feel like that's kind of what it represents. You're gonna have your beast music, the music that's more for the flesh. You basically for the pleasures of the flesh, for the money, cars, girls, you know. But then you're gonna have that music that feeds the mind, feeds the mind. So there is gonna always be that. But I feel like now, if you decide you're gonna step into that higher lane, you want to be considered a hip hop god, you're gonna have to prove your worth. Thanks. And if you don't prove your worth, there's no reason for you to. You might as well just do it, because you're not going to go. Me as a lyricist, like I do my best to try to blend, but honestly, at the end of the day, there's no way in hell I could go backwards, because that's what it's a regression. Yeah, I can't go backwards. I can only go forwards. So if I hit my wall, I might as well set up camp where I'm at, and I'll just stay there. You know, man, how long we been talking? You got a time on us?
No, hold on.
Let's see.
We've been at it for 1 hour 30.
All right. You know what? You think it's good, Tazz?
We gonna leave it there to be continued. You know what I mean?
Hey, you know what? Tap in, man. Me and Tazz be just yapping, and we just getting shit off of us. We done went off the rails, but you know what? It is what it is.
But I got one final message for y'all. For anybody up and coming artists, be unique, be yourself. I've always said this before. Like I told y'all before, it took me a while to really step into my own lane. But don't be afraid to. Tap into yourself. Whatever you want to talk about, get it off. Whatever you want to write about, get it off. Because if you like it, the world is going to love it. Because you know why? You believe in that. So don't be afraid to be the artist that you want to be. You don't have to follow no trends. You don't have to follow your homeboy. You don't have to follow nobody. Stay on your path and be you. Because to me personally, like I said, this is the reason why you have a Cole. This is the reason why you have a Kendrick. This is the reason why you have a Ice Cube. This is the reason why you have a Joe Budden. All these guys. There's a reason why these are staples in the hip-hop community. Because you know why? They were different when they came out, and they stayed that way all the way through. They stayed to themselves of how they were. Be that. Yeah. It ain't gonna be. I'm not gonna be Ill-minded Tazz sound. That's gonna. He Ill-minded Tazz, but he's something. No, you're gonna know what an Ill-minded Tazz sound like. You're gonna know what Archie sounds like. So that's my message to y'all up and coming artists. As I'm myself as an up and coming artist, be yourself. Be unique. Write what you want to write. Believe in your pen, and always upgrade yourself too. Progress in that realm of what you're doing, because that's the only way everybody's gonna believe in you and succeed.
Real talk. And I think my last little message after this is kind of piggybacking off of Tazz, but I'm a little more aggressive with it. Don't let nobody play with the shit you love, bro.
Facts.
For real. My message is this: hip hop is something I love, and I ain't gonna keep letting y'all play with it.
Facts.
For real, for real. And I encourage all those who are out there who love hip hop like I love it. Don't let them play with it. If they gonna do this, make them do it.
Facts.
Yeah, I don't care if it's club music, but it better be the best goddamn club music I've ever heard in my life. Real talk. I'm not letting there ain't no stalling out, bro. You if you in it, you in it. If you ain't, you ain't. And I don't care, because you might see Archie Archie might be boogeyman number 2. You never know. I'll pull up on your ass, bro. Make you rap. Yeah.
Kendrick said, I'm gonna pop out and show niggas.
Yeah, real talk, man. But anyway, like for real though, like if you love it, believe in yourself. Don't let them play with you, and don't let them play with the thing you love, man. Make them, and if they can't do it, make sure they stay the fuck out of it. And that's the truth. At the end of that, that's it. I'm sorry, y'all. Y'all know me.
You know what it is. I'm your boy Ill-minded Tazz, and this is your boy Archie.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.